Deion Sanders in Colorado just shocked all of college football with a huge upset win over TCU. And today, I'm going to tell you just how they did it. My name is Ojari Brown. This is the breakdown. Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes just pulled off a huge win over TCU when they were major underdogs. Few people expected them to be competitive as they were, let alone win it outright. And with this big win over TCU, who just last year played in the college championship game, Deion Sanders in Colorado just put everybody on notice and let them know that, hey, we here. Firstly, the tempo and pace they played at throughout most of the first half. Throughout that entire first half, they were very up-paced, on beat, and they were just quick to the point and, quick to the line of scrimmage, calling quick plays. And I think that caught TCU off guard, and they weren't expecting that because Colorado, with all the recent transfers and having over 50 transfers, nobody expected them to show this much cohesion and show as much discipline as they had, being that this is their first official game together. Next, a major reason why they won is because none other than Travis Hunter himself. As Deion Sanders would say, he is him. Travis Hunter put on a monster performance, having over 100 yards, having an interception, playing both sides of the ball, wide receiver and cornerback, and playing over 100 snaps throughout the game. And it wasn't just that he played 100 snaps, he was just playing the positions. He was playing both positions at an elite level. So much so that you could argue that after this game, he could possibly be considered one of the top corners in all of college football and one of the top receivers in all of college football. And that alone is just insanity. And after this win, questions have arisen on whether or not he will continue to play both sides of the ball as much throughout the entirety of the season and, throughout his career when he gets to the league. How will he be able to play both sides? But being at Colorado, and most people will question on how that's going to wear down his body, how it's going to basically just break him down throughout the season. He's not going to be able to give as much effort. He's not going to be as effective because he's just going to be tired and his body is going to be worn down. Now, that is a valid concern, and, that is a concern that I have. But if you look at Deion Sanders and how many times he's been asked about it and, just how he talks about Travis, I think Deion is like, hey, this guy is capable of doing it. He's not just one. He's not elite. He's one of one. He is one of the all-time athletes. That's what I'm getting from Deion, because it seems like Deion's not going to slow down with him. Deion is going to let him continue to play both sides of the ball at an elite level consistently and play all these snaps and just touch both sides of the field like this. So with that being so, you just hope that he could remain to stay healthy and he continue to put on a show and outperform everybody. Somebody who I think was just as equally important and just as beneficial to them was none other than their quarterback, Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders put on a masterclass game, having over 500 yards in his first game at the Power 5 level. And, a lot of people, when he was coming out of Jackson State, they didn't believe in his talent. Some people felt like, he might be good, but that's not going to translate to, where he's at now. And lo and behold, his first game, he's already setting records for the school, and he's just doing unimaginable things that people didn't think would happen. If you just watch the tape and look how poised, look how calm, look how confident he was back there in that pocket, and just how he would go through his progressions, how he ran through his reads, how he made the throws, how accurate he was, how timely his throws were. It was just something that not a lot of other quarterbacks are doing, and I would argue that in terms of just college, he's one of the best quarterbacks now in college. And I think he was that before, but I think now you have to give him that respect at seeing it at this level and say, hey, this guy is, you could argue, a top 3 quarterback. You could argue number 2 behind Caleb Williams, and if you want to, you could argue 1 just out of just being a pure quarterback. And I know Caleb Williams is otherworldly with the type of flash he's shown, just how alien he is with the type of throws he makes, all of his highlights. But just from an efficiency standpoint and just on a pure quarterback level, Shedeur is right there with Caleb Williams on just terms of production, on just basic production, just terms of production. He is right there with Caleb Williams, and you can't tell me otherwise. Now, if you want to argue that Caleb Williams is a better runner, of course. If Caleb Williams is more elusive, of course. But just for what they do, Shedeur is amazing and elite. And just the way he talks and how mature he was, you can see, just where he's at, mentally, and just how smart and how mature he is. When he was asked about coming up from Jackson State to Colorado and whether he was worried about, the competition level, whether it was an adjustment period, whether if he felt like, he was worried he wasn't going to be as good as he was, and talking about the critics and stuff like that, he basically said that, when he was playing at Jackson State, it's basically the same in terms of just the athletes out there regarding the receivers, defensive backs, just everything out skill position wise. He mainly said that it's dang near the same. And the only thing that he noticed as a real difference was just how quick the D-line jumps off of the line of scrimmage and gets to him. But besides that, he basically said, hey, like, I'm not fearing no names. I'm not fearing, status. I'm just coming here to ball. I don't care about none of that. I'm coming here to ball, and I know what I'm capable of. And as you can see, he is elite. And I'm looking forward to him showing us just how good he is. And last but not least, just pure coaching. When it comes to Deion Sanders and his coaching staff over there at Colorado, you got to give him a hand. You got to give him a round of applause on just how impressive it is for them to go out there, the guys who have never played a real game together, and for them to show that much discipline, that much cohesion, and that ready to play. It's amazing, and you got to give them that respect. And Deion and his coaching staffs, they had their guys ready, and they did not come to play, and that's shown greatly on Saturday. And just by the way, we can see from different clips and stuff, just the way he talks to his kids and how he talks about his kids in interviews and when he's talking to media and everything, he gives those guys confidence. He knows that these guys are capable, and he shows those guys that he's confident in them and they should be confident in themselves, and that shows when they play. And I think as the season goes on, Colorado is going to surprise a lot of people by just how good they're going to be right out the gate. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to be, the best team in college football, first year, but I do think that, they're going to be somewhere that a lot of people ain't going to expect them to be. I'm not going to say it now. I'll talk about it soon, so stay tuned for that. But I do believe that Colorado is going to be just fine this year, and they're only going to get better, as time goes on, and if however long Deion is there. And obviously, I said, most of the main names and the main attractions, but you can't forget about guys like Edwards, who had about 4 touchdowns, their running back. Can't forget about the other 3 receivers who had over 100 yards. And, just as a whole, the whole team, they're going to be all right. And they really just showed out and showed us what they're capable of. And it's only up from here, if I'm being honest. It's only up from here. Next week, they play Nebraska in a game that I think that they're going to win as well. So, let me down below. How many games do you think Colorado can win this season? And how impressed are you by Deion and Colorado for the show they put on against TCU? Let me know. But don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I appreciate y'all for watching. Please, have a good day. Peace out.